everyone, this is Shel from Paper Actio Studio, and today I'm sharing with you some more summer ATC cards. I'm in a group that is on the G Plus communities called Creating and Sharing Mixed Media, and they have a swap every month, and it used to be tags, and that's how I got my start in making altered tags. But now we're doing ATCs, and for this swap, it was summer-themed ATCs, and it was two summer-themed ATCs. So I made my summer-themed ATCs, and I mailed them out. And then somehow there was a mix-up, and some people got confused, and that there was two lists. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I ended up receiving two packages. So I got, in return for my two ATCs, 4 ATCs. So of course it's only fair that I make 2 more and send them to the person who didn't get the package that they should have gotten based on the confusion. So that is why you're watching me make 2 more summer themed ATCs. That was a very long explanation, I know. So the first thing that I did was I decided to draw a ice cream cone, and I used my soft graphite drafting pencil to do that. And then I used a blending stump, which is sometimes called a tortillon, which I call a tortilla, to blend out the graphite to make it a little bit more shadowed. And that works pretty good if you're not going to do your, your ink lines around. Instead, just make kind of a softer look. And that's what I was trying to do when I blended my pencil, was to just make some shadows and highlights and do that rather than doing my usual take an ink pen and draw over the lines situation. So then I decided I wanted my ice cream cones to be dimensional. Ta-da! They're dimensional. I used light molding paste from Golden and a metal palette knife to like build up and create something that looks like scooped hard ice cream, basically. And then I set that aside to dry and decided to work on my second ATC while that one was drying. That light molding paste actually dries very quickly, so it will be dry by the time I'm done with this second card here. Total time for both cards was about 1 hour and 10 minutes. So that gives you an idea of how long it took for it to dry. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. So my second card, I was on Facebook the other day. I'm not a big fan of Facebook. I don't spend a lot of time on it. But I saw this cute picture, one of those ones that someone had liked or shared, that's a picture of cute animals. You know, you see those come across your feed if you're on Facebook. Just cute animals, like sometimes it's kittens, sometimes it's dogs, sometimes it's baby raccoons, whatever. Somebody had liked it or shared it. And it was a picture of a dog in a wading pool. And I thought to myself, when I was trying to come up with something to make a summer-themed ATC, that would be really cute. A dog in a wading pool. It was adorable. So I decided to draw a dog in a wading pool for this second ATC. Same method as before. I've got my soft graphite in my drafting pencil. And I'm drawing it, and then I'm using my tortillon. Blending stump. to blend out the graphite. Another thing that does, besides just, make your shadow, begin your shadowing already, is that it kind of grinds it into the paper. This is a 140-pound cold press watercolor paper, and I'm using the smooth side. But it's still kind of rough, and it's absorbent, and it grinds the graphite in and makes it less water soluble, because if you put water on graphite, if you watercolor over graphite, it will run, and it will, sometimes that's a real benefit. Sometimes it annoys you. It's like, would you just stay there, pencil line? I didn't put you over here. I put you right there. Stay. But it doesn't. So that's kind of a pretty cool method to use if you know you're going to be using something like this, water-soluble medium, which is the India inks from Dr. P.H. Martin brand. And I have both sets. There's a set 1 and a set 2 now here. And you can see them all. That's all the colors. I think that's all the colors they have in the India ink. Nice thing about it is that this behaves like a watercolor, so it's blendable with water. It's has the same type of an effect, a look as watercolor. You can lift it back up in areas as long as it's still wet with your brush, just like you do watercolor. But once it's dry, it's permanent. So you can go put other mediums over the top of it without it running and smearing and making a big brown blobby mess. So I like that about this product, and that's how come I needed to have all the colors. Well, I mean, I need to have all the colors of everything. I mean, let's be realistic. I want it all. So I started out with the green grass and then the blue wading pool, and now I'm doing the golden retriever. He is a golden retriever puppy, and he has his snorkel and his floaty and his beach ball. He's ready to go to the beach, but there's no beach, so he's in a wading pool. I think the picture tells a story. He's like, hey, where's the beach? So now I'm using the ochre color to just color in my little puppy. And I don't know. It makes me smile. I think it's funny. The puppy in the wading pool that I saw in the picture didn't have on his gear or anything, but I think that adds to the story. So it's kind of funny. But to make a darker blue to kind of add in shadows here on my wading pool, I mixed the purple and the blue together. It's a dark purple, like a dioxazine purple. It's not called that, but that's what color it really is. And so that made that blue color a little bit darker, and I was able to do my shadows with it. Also, just putting another layer of color on will make your shadows for you as well. Then I've got this very sunny yellow. There in these colors, in 1 and 2, there are, similar tones of the same color, but they are all different, even though they kind of look the same. But then once you use them, you realize they're different. So this project was pretty fun. I made some fishies on his floating ring. Some like little, I guess they'd be like clownfish, like Nemo or something. I don't know. Nemo doesn't have pink though, and I think I put a little bit of that red pink color, scarlet color on there as well. Yeah, I did. I guess while I'm painting this, I'm going to add some music because I don't really think I have anything else to say. So I'll be back in a bit. So I'm back. The name of that song was Venice Beach, which I think is kind of funny. Anyway, I went and got my pencil back out because white is not actually white. So I needed to add a little bit more gray shadow in on my beach ball with my pencil, and I blended that. Then, of course, we've got to have the Posca pins. Oh my gosh. Things would not be right if there wasn't Posca pins. So I got out my black Posca pin, added in the eyeballs and the nose of the doggy, and then I've got some white acrylic paint for some splatters to try to make that green area look more like grass by just adding some highlights, real random highlights. Better that they're random than that I had actually painted them in, because they look better that way. Then I'm adding another layer of the green just to give that area some more dimension because it was looking kind of flat. So kind of a shadow type situation there. And let's see, what else did I do? I know I used my white Posca pen to do highlights. Oh, that's right. First I got out my Stabilo All pencil. That's a highly water reactive pencil, and I'm going to try something that I haven't tried before. I sharpened it real sharp and just made real sketchy lines around in areas. What I'm trying to do here is avoid my illustration pens that I usually I normally make those black lines around everything. I was trying to avoid that. I was trying to make it look more organic, more natural. But I still am obsessed with having oh my gosh, I'm Christina from Flipper Flop. I'm obsessed. Anyway, okay, another joke, but from another story. But anyway, I like having borders around things. It's the illustrator in me. I want to have those black lines. So what I did was I put the black Stabilo All pencil around real lightly, and then I'm dipping my tortillon in the water and then using that to blend instead of using like a watercolor brush like I normally do to blend it, because I want the lines to stay pretty compacted. I don't want them to like completely spread out over the colors that I've put on. So that actually worked really well. I have different widths and sizes of those blending stumps, so I'm going to try that some more. That actually worked. I was pretty happy with it. Then, of course, I've got to add my little spots of highlights. I have to do it with my white Posca pen. So that's my finishing touch. Then I get out some archival ink and go around the edges because I like the way that looks, to have the dark edge around the card. And then I've got these Tim Holtz stickers, and I'm going to put stickers on there for words. Those actually come in really handy when you're doing these tiny projects like this. A lot easier than writing or, trying to print something on your computer. That little pack of stickers has come in really handy for me. And I'm just highlighting them again with the black Stabilo All pencil. So that's it for my cute little doggy card. And then now this one's dry. So I'm sitting there twiddling my fingers trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Just didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have a plan, and I was just like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? How should I color this? What should I do? So I decided to add a shadow all the way around it to make it stand out from the card, because I knew that would be something. Usually that's something you do at the end, but I knew I needed to do that, so I figured I would just start off with the ending bit, because I just didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to color it. Should I use acrylic paint? Should I use some type of a water soluble thing? I wasn't sure. What should I do? What should I do? So I decided to use my handy dandy trusty neocolor 2 water soluble crayons and a water barrel brush to color my ice cream. So I didn't think that I could write, a lot of times I like to get intense color. I like bright, intense, bold color. And so I most often use my crayons by writing right onto the paper. And then I blend it with the water. And that immediately gives me intense color. But I didn't think I could do that over the ice cream, where I had put the molding paste on, I thought, oh, that will crush it. And I wanted to leave that dimension on there, and I didn't want to crush it. But I figured out, as you can see, that that stuff is resilient. It's kind of like foam, and you press it down, it comes back up. It just bounces back. I'm not sure what that's made out of, but pretty cool stuff. You press it down, it bounces back. So I ended up figuring out that I could write directly on it. I didn't for every single part, but I did figure out that that would be fine as well. So I'm also touching my water barrel brush to the tip of the crayon and picking up color that way, which is another way you can use them if you don't want to write directly on the paper. Because writing on the paper does give you a different effect. It's a crayon. You know what crayons look like. When you write a line with a crayon, it's identifiable as writing a line with the crayon. I don't know how else to say it. But then you can blend it, but sometimes it doesn't blend out all that crayon-ishness. Yeah, that's a word. You know what I'm saying. I know that you do. You've all seen a crayon. You know what it looks like. There's even like a font that you can get that looks like crayon writing because it's identifiable. We all know what it is. So there's a little bit of that white acrylic paint left on my palette from the splatters that I did on the other cards. So I'm using that to add some highlights to the edges where there might be like little lighter frozen bits on my ice cream, and also the little hash mark waffle looking things on a sugar cone. A sugar cone is a waffle cone. It's just a different already pre-made one, because if you look at it, it looks exactly the same, only they're tinier waffles, not bigger waffles like the waffle cone that they make in the ice cream shop. I really like this periwinkle color crayon, and I could see that I had never even used it. It didn't have any use from it. It was brand new. So I decided to make that my background. But because that is watercolor paper, it wasn't as smooth as I wanted the color on the background to be. So you'll see what I did. But now I'm adding the chips. That's mint chocolate chip ice cream, which is top on my list of things that I love. And then I also made a cherry chip on the top, and then the one in between is vanilla. It looks good. I'd like to have that ice cream right now. So then I took some white gesso in my finger, and I'm just blending out the color in the background because the color was dipping itself into the little bumps on the watercolor paper and making it look, I don't know, it didn't look good. So I blended it that way. Then I added some watering color gray archival ink on the edges. And now I'm going back in and adding more shadows with my Stabilo All pencil. Try to deepen up some areas so that it looks more visually interesting. I don't want it to blend into the background. I want it to stand out from the background. If you know what I mean, Jelly Bean. Of course, got to get out the white Posca and add some highlights to the waffle spots and to the chips so that they are more dimensional and more realistic looking. Because I like it. What says summer more than ice cream? I don't know anything that does. Then I decided to put a sticker on there as well, and I'm looking through, and then I remember there's some ones that are white on black instead of black on white, and I think that that would look better. So I find it in that section. Pretty cool. If you guys are enjoying this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so that you don't miss any other videos, comment so that I know you were here, share it with your friends if you want. Those things help out my channel a lot. So I'm very grateful when you do that. So for finishing touches on this card, I made a sketchy border with my black Posca pen, and then off camera and out of picture that you guys won't see is I did add some white polka dots to the background, which helped that out a lot. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye bye.